Trying to compete in business leads us to always be looking for something new, and I've got two thoughts on that. If you start a new project, idea or plan, you've got to drop one. Stop focusing on the shiny, bright object syndrome in order to find your solution. Today, I've got a killer strategy for you on how to not feel overwhelmed at work and in business, how not to just get totally emotional and upset and overwhelmed because you've got so many ideas and you want to implement so many ideas. It's a killer strategy. Welcome to JTInTheRaw, show 72, coming to you live from FitX. We're having a break, FitX and New Zealand, and I am coming to you today just to talk about normal things that I do where I chew the thin on business. You'll see Gary Russell walking back over there, and I might even, if I can do this, look. There's Mr. Paul Brown, who is next up speaking here at the conference. The timing was perfect for JTInTheRaw. Okay, so g'day Alan, g'day Susan, how you going? And the reason why I want to talk about today's topic is really quite simple. I've just spoken at NERSA. We're here at FitX today, tomorrow and Sunday. And I've just had an industry leaders roundtable meeting last week. And it was interesting speaking to the people there. And at each of those conferences, you know, my observations as well as talking to people is that with all this education and all this information, g'day Brett, how are you? Is that people starting to feel overwhelmed with all these ideas on how to grow their business, how to get the hustle mode happening, and all these sort of catchphrases. But for me, you know, it's like a cup of water. You're pouring the water in. Eventually, the water gets to the top of the cup and starts overflowing. You know, we had this finite amount of ability in our business, whether it's ourselves or people or the business, on what we can do. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, is this concept of educating ourselves, coming up with ideas, but not feeling overwhelmed. So from my experience, I reckon, I don't know, less than 30% of people, that's my view, less than 30% of people actually implement ideas out of a conference. Paul, what do you reckon? What percentage do you reckon people actually implement when they're at a conference?
Oh, I couldn't guess, Justin, but we always say if they get one great idea and take action, that's a really good start.
So Paul says one great idea. I'm saying less than 30% actually do anything. But I think, you know, that's because when we get back into the business, we're really busy putting out bushfires, but we also feel overwhelmed. It's okay to come to a conference and we hear the ideas and we go, oh, that's great. That's easy for them to do. He's a consultant, or he's got a big team, or she's a powerful leader. So we come up with all these excuses, but the reality is we just don't implement. And I think the reason is because we've got that overwhelmedness, if that's even a word. So what do you do? What do you do when you get these ideas to implement? What's your plan? What's your strategy? Well, because, as I said, we've got this finite capacity, both personally, our team, as well as our business, something has to go. Something has to give in our business. So as business leaders, we need much better discipline when we attend events, when we attend professional development. We need much better discipline so that we can identify the ideas that are going to help us get us towards our goal. And there's the key. The killer strategy that I'm going to share with you guys today is that you've got to be very clear in the goal that you're trying to achieve, how you want to scale, or how you want to lead your business in 2018. You've got to know where you're going. You've got to know what you're trying to achieve. If you don't know any of that, then when you're attending a conference, then you're going in with an open agenda, then of course you're going to feel overwhelmed. What we want to be able to do is when we're going to do professional development, or when we're reading a book, or when we're listening to a podcast. By the way, if you haven't listened to the Fitness Business Podcast this week, it is a dead set cracker of a show. If you want the link to the Fitness Business Podcast, put FBP in the comments below. FBP. Oh, look at that. I got a bit of bark off, a little skin off from boxing class yesterday. FBP in the comments. The interview's with Michael Stelzner, and it is awesome. He gives an update on social media. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to listen to a podcast, you've got to go in with an agenda. You've got to be looking for solutions to the problems that you've got. If you understand what you're trying to achieve in business, then that makes it a whole lot easier with an agenda going in. Now, the key here is that you have to have conviction with your plan. You've got to be really clear on what you are trying to achieve. What you are trying to achieve. And when you're doing that, then that means that you're going to be on fire at that event, clearly identifying the solution to the problems and things that are going to make you better. Okay, so when you get this idea, when you're at a conference, when you get the idea, when you're reading the book and you get the idea, when you listen to a podcast and you get the idea, the question is, will this get me closer to the finish line? Will this get me closer to my goal? If the answer is yes, then you have to take out something that is less impactful in your business than the new idea. You simply can't do everything. So pull out one idea, put the new idea in if it will get you closer to your goal. Really simple. And this is going to help you skipping this whole feeling of being overwhelmed and what's happening outside of the business, in the education. So understand where you want to head, go in with an agenda, pick up your ideas, then get rid of the ones that are less impactful in your business and focus on the ones that are more impactful, whatever that is, what I mean definition by impact. Okay, I better go because these guys are going to be in very shortly. So thank you for a very quick JT in the Raw this week. Appreciate you jumping on. And if you know anybody that you think should watch this and get an understanding of how not to feel overwhelmed in the business, then please tag them in the comments below. That would be awesome. Always grateful for you sharing the show. It just gets better and better and better each week with the number of shares that we get. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh, that's Richard over there. Wave, Richard. Oh, there's Paul. There's a photo bomber. Oh, my gosh. Oh, they're both photo bombing. Yeah. Oh, dear. What can I do with these? You can dress them up, but you just can't take them out. Thanks a lot for tuning in to JT in the Raw. I want to finish, of course, with quote of the week, and that is this. You have a limited capacity, so don't overfill your cup. You have a limited capacity, so don't overfill your cup. Have an awesome week. I'm going to catch you next week. I'm going to be coming to you next week live from Cairns in far north Queensland, Australia. Catch you guys later.